Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new series with me. So I'm just going to scroll down and here is the description box for the video and it will say show more, so I'm just going to click on that, and then if you scroll down to pretty much the very bottom of the description page, you will find it will say useful links, and here will be a link to the online application form. So I'm just going to click on that and it will open up in a new tab. And then here is some information about applying for the visa and what you need to do before you apply, and it's got useful links that you can read. I've already read some of these things, so I'm not going to on this occasion. But then you'll find it says apply, and it gives you the application form for different visas. So for the spouse visa, we want to go to the very bottom and it will say apply for all other visas, and you can see that this link is purple because I've clicked on it before. So this is the one that you want to click on, and then it will say register. So here it asks for personal details. You can fill this out with your own personal details and then later on apply on behalf of somebody else. However, we decided to go with my husband's details, as he did help me fill out the form and it was easier for him just to apply as himself. So that's what we went with. So where it says given names or forenames, you need to provide the same names that appear on the passport. So where it says given name or forename on the passport, that is a given name or forename that you need to put into this box. So I'm just going to put here applicant's forename. And make sure you fill this form out in capital letters. Everything that we filled out was in capital. I think it's a lot easier to read. It makes things just much simpler. I spelt forenames wrong. And then we go on to the family name or the surname. Again, just look at the passport and make sure it matches. I'm just going to put in the applicant's surname in this box. And then we come to the applicant's date of birth. So I'm just going to pick a random date. We've gone quite far, but let's go with it. 1946. It's on July. Let's pick the 3rd. Makes things nice and easy. And then it says gender. Of course, this was for my husband, so he's male. And his nationality is Bangladeshi, so we're going to pick Bangladesh as the country. And then it says help language here, so you can either go with Bangla or English. Of course, if you're Bengali. I did think about going with Bangla because I thought my husband could feel more involved, he would understand what was being asked for and he could fill it out at times where I couldn't get to the computer, and he did sometimes. However, we did go for English help, and I guess he just had to have a hard time trying to understand, but of course I helped him where I could. He does know simple things like mother's name, so he knew to fill those out with the correct details. And then it'll want the applicant's email. So I'm just going to put in applicant's email at gmail.com, and then same with this box. And this isn't an actual email address. I just don't want it to come up with an error message, so I put in the @gmail.com there. So the applicant's primary phone number, in this case this would be a Bangladeshi phone number because my husband was still in Bangladesh at the time. So all Bangladeshi numbers start 0088 if you are calling from abroad, and I thought if they wanted to call him then at least they would know how to. And then I went in with 0171, which is how most Bangladeshi numbers begin, and then I'm going to make up the rest. Okay, and then it comes up with the applicant's address. So Bangladeshi addresses are quite different to addresses in the UK. So in the first line, perhaps you can put the village name, and then it would be the post office, and then the police station, and then you can put Sylhet in this box, and then the postcode. Not all Bangladeshi addresses have postcodes, and again it's not mandatory in this case, so you can leave it out. My husband's did have one, but I'm just going to leave it out for now. And then where it says country, again Bangladesh, there we are. So that's the end of the registration. You will then need to read the terms and conditions. I'm not going to go through all of this with you. You can print it off if you want, but I've already read these, so I'm just going to press OK. You click on the I agree to the terms and conditions, and then you click register, and that will be your registration complete. Once you're registered, you should get an email sent to your email address, the one that you provided in the contact details section. And then you just need to log on to that email, click the link just to confirm that you have registered, and again that will further complete your registration, and you can continue with filling out the application form. You've registered online, and now you have clicked on the email link that they sent to you, and it's asking you to log in. If you ever save your application and you want to come back to it later, this is also the same way that you log in. The website is just at the top here, and I'll leave it in the description box as well for you. So let's log in. So it says email, so of course in this bit you just put in the applicant's email in this box, and then you put in the password that you created also when registering the account. Okay, so once you've clicked login, it takes you to this page, and then at the bottom here it says please select apply for myself to start your application, or it says if you're applying on behalf of someone else, please select apply for someone else. If you registered an account using the sponsor's details, then you may want to click apply for someone else in that case. Now because I registered with my husband's details, I'm going to click apply for myself, and then it gives you a bit of important information, and then there are links there as well if you want to click on them. I'm not going to, I'm just going to press continue, and then we can move on to creating the account. Okay, so then it takes us to this page, and as you can see, some of the fields have already been filled out from the information that we gave when we registered. So the ones that you need to fill out would be the passport number, your intended date to travel, and also this section down here, the type of visa. So let's go back up and fill those out. So the passport number, Bangladeshi passport numbers always start BD, and then we'll just make one up, so BD 043928. And then intended date of travel. You can put any date down as your intended date of travel. It can be 2 months from now as well. It's just so that UKVI have an idea of when the applicant might want to come to the UK, and they will try and get your visa as close to that date as possible, but it isn't always the case, and most often than not your visa response is a lot later. So that's why I decided to go with the average 3 months, and it worked out quite well for us. We did get it later than the date that we chose, however it was roughly around that time. So what I did for intended date of travel was I picked 3 months from the date of my application, so it's July now, I'm going to pick October, and then I picked a week before exactly 3 months. So this will be the 9th, and that's what I did. Make sure that you've got flights that go out on that day as well. If the flights go out the day before, pick the day before. If after, then pick the day after. That's not an issue, but just do that so that you can print off a flight itinerary for when you do fly out. Okay. Location already in there, and nationality already in there as well. And then further down it says select visa type. So the reason for visit would be settlement. The type of visa would be settlement also. And then the subtype for the visa would be husband in this case, as it is my husband who is the applicant. If it's your wife applying, then that would be wife. Okay, and then we go down to the very bottom where you can click create account, and that will take you to the application where you can start filling out the form. Now that you've created your account, you can move on to filling out the application form. So that's what we're going to do here today. So if you scroll down, you'll see that the information is here on the left hand side. So the next step is to go to the application, and if you look on the right hand side, you can do that by clicking on this button here. You'll notice that the other sections are all grey and you can't click on those until you have submitted the application form. If at any point you decide to delete your application, you can do that by clicking the button at the bottom here. So we're going to go to the application so we can start filling it out. Okay, so this is the first section that we come to, and if you scroll down, you can see that on the left hand side here are all the sections that need to be filled out. So we'll start at the very top. It's already on this section, and it's passport and travel information. So as you can see, some of it has already been filled out from when we registered and when we created the account. So we'll just continue to fill it out. So we start with the applicant's surname, forename, and then it asks, have you ever used or been known by any other names? Date of birth is already filled out, place of birth, so my husband was born in the city that he lives in, so we'll just put city in there. Gender's already filled out, nationality's already filled out, and then it asks if they currently hold or have they ever held any other nationalities before, and then it asks for the current passport number. So again, that's already filled out because we've done it before. Place of issue would be a city. And the issuing authority will be on the passport, so have a look at that. And then the date of issue, so you just click on the calendar here and select the date that is written on the passport. And date of expiry, again just click on the calendar and then select the correct date. Country of residence, so my husband was of course living in Bangladesh, so that was the answer there. Are you a national of the country in which you are applying? If the applicant has a passport for the country that they are applying from, then the answer to this would be yes. If they are living in a country where they do not have a passport for, and they are applying from that country, then the answer here would be no. Is this your first passport? If you do select yes here, then it will ask you for the passport number of your previous passport and also what has happened to that passport. And then we move on to travel information. So here it asks if you are travelling with anyone else. Originally, I did plan to fly out to Bangladesh and bring my husband back with me once he got his visa, but because we were quite unsure of the idea, we selected no in this case. Date of planned arrival in the UK, we filled this out before, so that's already filled out. And how long do you intend to stay in the UK? So in this box, we put in permanently. And then it asks, what is the main address and contact details of where you will be staying whilst in the UK? So when my husband comes to the UK, the idea is that he will be living with me in my parents' home. So that is the information I put into this section. So you can do it by just popping in the UK postcode here and then click find address, and then use this drop down menu to select the correct door number. Or you can fill it out manually. So here we put the sponsor's name and then the road. I put the county in, and I also put in United Kingdom. The postcode should already be filled out from when you click this. And then the primary contact number, so again I used numbers so that they could be called from the UK or from abroad. So for the UK it's 0044. I'm just going to make a number up here. So we've gone with 0044 732 5819. Secondary contact number, it's optional, and then email address is also optional. I'm just going to put in sponsors email at gmail.com. So here you can save the application if you want to. I would highly recommend saving it after each section, and then once you've done that you can move on to the next section. Okay, so then we move on to personal details and travel history. So we start with personal details, and as you can see it has already been filled out from some of the information that we provided earlier. So we'll move down to where it says, how long have you lived at this address? So my husband has lived at his address since he was born, so in this case it was 72 years because we put his date of birth as 1946 and 0 months because he was born in July in this case. And then it asks if the preferred contact details are different from the ones already provided. So again, you can select which one is most suitable for you. We then move on to travel and criminal history, and there's a series of yes/no questions that you must answer. And then when you get to the end of those, it will ask you if we need to interview you, what language would you like to use in the interview. So what we put in this box was Bengali and English. And then it asks you a couple more questions as well, and then you can go on to save that and then click next section. Okay, and then we move on to family details. So this is the applicant's family details. So I'm just going to scroll down, and at first it asks about the applicant's spouse or partner. So the marital status here would be married, and then it says, will the sponsor or partner be travelling with you? Again, because we were unsure, we selected no. And then current passport or travel document number. This is the sponsor's current passport number. You'll need to look at the sponsor's passport to fill out this information. And then we move on to nationality. So the sponsor's nationality should be United Kingdom. And then the sponsor's surname. Sponsor's forename. Sponsor's date of birth, you can just do this by clicking on the little icon here and selecting that. And then, does your spouse currently live with you? So this is asking if the sponsor currently lives with you. Of course we were living separately at the time. And then the address details, so this is the sponsor's address. So just put the road in. Again, I put the county in. The postcode, and then the country, which was again United Kingdom. Primary contact number, so we went with 0044 732 5819. And then the email, sponsor's email at gmail.com. And then we move on to father's detail. This is asking for the applicant's father's details. So in this case, my husband's father is Bangladeshi, and just need to pop his surname in here. And his forenames in there. Select a date of birth by clicking on the calendar icon, and then the place of birth is the city that he was born in. And then we move on to the mother's information. So the mother's nationality, again Bangladeshi. Mother's surname. Mother's forename. And then you just select a date of birth from this section here. And then place of birth would be the city that she was born in. Then this asks about dependent children. Dependent children are children that the applicant has, and then it asks if there are any other children travelling with you. There weren't going to be any children travelling with my husband, so we selected no. So again, like I said, you can save this section and then you can move on to the next section. So now we come to the applicant's employment. So it asks if the applicant is employed, and there's a simple yes/no box here, and then it asks the sponsor's current working status. So for this, my husband was unemployed at the time, so we put unemployed here. Again, you can save it and then move on to the next section. And then we come to medical treatment. So here it asks, have you ever received medical treatment in the UK? So my husband had never been to the UK, so for us this was no. If your partner has been to the UK before and they were ever in a hospital at any point, then you may want to choose yes for this. But once you've chosen, you just move on to the next section. Okay, so here it asks for the sponsor's details. Now these will be the same details that we filled out earlier for the spouse, but we just need to fill them out again. So, sponsor's surname, sponsor's forename, and these should be exactly how it is stated in the sponsor's passport. Their date of birth, so again just click on the calendar and choose their date of birth. Sponsor's nationality should be United Kingdom. The sponsor's passport number, the place of issue, it's not on a British passport. There are, I think, up to 4 cities that do issue passports in the UK, and putting in any of those cities is completely fine. For this, I personally put in United Kingdom, which is also completely fine. Issuing authority, again, these can be found on the passport. The date of issue of the passport and then the date of expiry of the passport also. Here it asks if the sponsor holds or has ever held other nationalities, so I hadn't, I put no here, and then it says, is the sponsor currently living in the UK? So this was yes for us, and where is the sponsor now? So for this question we put in United Kingdom, and then it says, what is their relationship to you? So for us this was spouse. And then, will your sponsor be travelling with you to the UK? Again, because we were unsure, we selected no here. Like I said, again, save before you move on, and then next section. We then move on to the English language. So just scroll down, it says, are you exempt from the English language requirement? My husband wasn't, so we selected no. So here it asks for some details about how he met the English requirements, and we put, I have taken the IELTS Life Skills A1 Speaking and Listening Test, which I passed on, and then the date. So that covers that section there. Again, save it, and then next section. And as you can see here, the English language is green because that section is the only one that I've actually completed. The other sections did have a few blanks in them, so that's why they are still black. But that takes us to the end of the application. You can fill out any additional information here if you would like, but this section is green because it is optional. So you can go back, to these sections and look at what is incomplete and finish those. They are all green, suggesting that all sections are complete. Before you make your submission, I would highly suggest that you go back through each section and double check that there are no mistakes. And then once you are happy with your application, you can click down here on the bottom of the left hand side where it says confirm application. So I'm just going to click that now, and it takes me to this page where it is all laid out. You can see every question and all of the answers on the right hand side, which I have blocked out. So again, just scroll down nice and slowly, check all of your questions and answers. If you find that you have made some mistake, return to application on the bottom left hand side of the page, or if you are happy with the application, then you can click submit application, and then this little window pops up, and once you have read that, just press submit, and then it will take you back to the home page. So if you scroll down, you can see that the application is completed and it's highlighted in green, and then the next thing that you need to do is in black, so it is sign the declaration. So once you've clicked on that, it will come up with a window which you must read. And then once you have read all of that, at the very bottom of the page, you can put in the applicant's full name, and the date signed is already in the box. And then you just need to click sign declaration on the bottom right hand side. Again, this takes us back to the home page, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see that the declaration signed is in green. And then you can pick your BRP collection location. So this is for the BRP card that the applicant must collect once they are in the UK. So after you've clicked on that, it takes you to the next page. If you scroll down, you will see that they have a suggested location already for you. You can pick an alternate location if you wish. If you are happy with the address, just click confirm, and then it will double check with you that that address is okay with you. Once you click yes, it will take you onto the next page where it reminds you that the sticker in the passport is only valid for 30 days, in which time the applicant should have arrived in the UK. The applicant has 10 days from arriving in the UK to collect the BRP card from the chosen post office. And then if you are happy with that, click save and close. Again, this takes us back to the home page, and if you scroll down, you will see that the BRP collection location is highlighted in green, and then the next thing to do is book an appointment for your biometrics. So once you scroll down, you will see that you need to select the region and the visa appointment type, which is a standard appointment for a spouse visa. And then if you go further down, it will give you an address to where the application centre is. Once you have done that, you can click next, and then you must choose a date by clicking on the calendar on the left hand side, and then you can choose a time in the drop down menu on the right. Once you have done that, you can click next, and it will just come up with a confirmation page of when your appointment is and what time and where you must go. And then when you are happy with that, if you click next, it will take you to the IHS payment section. So you just need to press continue, and then this gives you a little bit of information about the IHS fees and the cost of them, and then it also tells you the documents that you will need when you make your payment. So when I clicked on continue, it said that there were some missing details. It does let you fill those details in. The missing details in this case was the title, so I had to put Mr. in, and then it was asking if the applicant was applying to live in the Isle of Man or Guernsey. Again, just pick which is most suitable to you, and then we continued by clicking the save and continue button. And then it takes you onto the summary page. Just make sure everything is correct, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it will ask you to confirm that the details are correct. Okay, and then there's the declaration, so you must make sure to read that, and then once you are happy, just click on I agree, and then it will come up with the fees that you must pay. So then if you click on pay now, it will take you to the page where you can pay. You just need to select which card type you will be paying with and go through the payment by filling out the details it asks for. I won't be going through that with you. However, you can see that the payment was successful. You just need to click on continue to confirmation screen, and then it will tell you that the payment is complete. So as you can see, you've been given an IHS number. So this is your own personal number, and it's very important that you keep a note of this number. Also, once you have printed your online application form, you need to handwrite this number at the very top of the application form. So once you have taken a note of that number, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can click return to my visa application, and it should take you back to the government website. So then you just need to click on home, and it takes you back to the home screen. So again, if you scroll down, you can see that you have completed the IHS payment, and on this application form, because it is a Bangladeshi application, it does tell you that you must pay at the visa application centre. It is highlighted in green, though I hadn't paid at this point. However, it is a step that doesn't need to be completed on here. So they have made it green so we can move on to the rest of the application. And then it says register at a commercial partner. I don't know what this actually is, and I didn't do it. So then all that was left for me to do was print the application. So I was going to leave that up to my husband to do. But as you can see here on the left hand side of the page, it says status complete. So that's how you submit the application form online. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video and it has been helpful to you. I want to wish you all the best of luck with your applications. Thank you for watching. Bye!